I want to say the semifinals games are up like 130%, and that's without Caitlyn. Sue Bird calls out ESPN host for, quote, hating on WNBA playoff ratings after Caitlyn Clark's
I was a bit reluctant to talk about it because I know folks said we tried the quiet route. Now it's about bringing noise and putting a spotlight and putting attention on it.
You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America, on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
We're working with WNBA owners that also own NBA teams, and then more broadly, the NBA owners on what the right valuation of WNBA teams are going forward, what the best way is to operate that league. It's very integrated now with the NBA. There's aspects over time under Commissioner Engelbert's direction.
Do you still want to boycott America, Brittney? Get out. Stop. I'm weird. Why? She hates America. What about the merchant of death, Britt?
Stephen A. Smith just dropped a bomb. Word is, the WNBA allegedly tried to bribe him to stay quiet about the whole Brittney Griner drama. And if that's real, the entire league might be in serious trouble. Why? Because the WNBA's worst-kept secret might be slipping out, the same rumor that fans been whispering for years, that Brittney Griner might not be a biological woman. And if Stephen A. so much as mentions that on air, it's game over. This ain't just gossip anymore. This is a full-blown scandal that the league cannot cover up with press releases and PR moves. Stephen A. doesn't need an intro. When he speaks, the internet listens. His takes go viral, big names respond, and sponsors, oh, they start sweating. The WNBA is already on thin ice with him, especially after he called them out for letting players gang up on Caitlyn Clark like it was some high school drama. He's not afraid to say what most won't. He's been everywhere, blasting the league on ESPN, YouTube, and his own podcast. And every time he defends Caitlyn Clark, the internet goes wild. Millions of views, NBA stars backing him up, fans reposting clips like crazy. He said what a lot of people were thinking, but too scared to say. Veteran players are jealous, plain and simple. He called it embarrassing for the whole women's game. And here's where it really hits different. Stephen A. didn't just call out the hate, he broke it down. He said Caitlyn Clark's rise should have been a win for everyone, but instead, it exposed some players' insecurities. He laid it out clean. Clark brought attention, money, and new fans, but instead of celebrating that, some players treated her like the enemy. And then you've got Brittney Griner at the center of the storm. She's one of the main names folks bring up when talking about those shady fouls and cheap shots aimed at Caitlyn Clark. And things got even messier when a clip surfaced showing Griner using a racial slur during a heated game moment. The WNBA tried to sweep that one under the rug, but the internet wasn't having it. People kept sharing the video and the noise just wouldn't die down. Now picture Stephen A. Smith picking that up and running with it in one of his viral rants, then dropping hints about the other rumor that's followed Griner for years. If he ever just said it out loud, the league wouldn't be able to spin it, bury it, or talk their way out. It'd turn into a scandal so big, it could shake the foundation of everything they've built. Here's where things really catch fire. This one rumor just won't die, no matter how hard the WNBA tries to ignore it. People online keep claiming Brittney Griner isn't biologically female. It's been floating around for years. Fans point to her massive frame, her unmatched strength, how she dominates the paint with ease, and how no one else in the league even comes close when it comes to throwing down dunks. And that's not just internet trolls talking. Reddit's flooded with threads. TikTok's got clip after clip. Even certain podcasts are discussing it. The talk's getting louder, not quieter. Some fans argue it gives her a serious physical advantage and claim the league's turning a blind eye, choosing to protect her instead of confronting it. And then there's that one clip that keeps popping up, Griner talking about how people used to call her Pops and how she was once told to use the men's bathroom. Moments like these are exactly why the rumors keep bubbling. Every clip, every soundbite just keeps the whispers alive and kicking. But before diving into why Stephen A. might know way more than he's letting on, let's break down how deep this tension really goes. Because this drama with the WNBA didn't just pop up with Caitlyn Clark or Brittney Griner. Nope, Stephen A. and the league been butting heads for a minute. This beef runs deep and it's been getting ugly. One of the biggest explosions happened on June 3rd, 2024, live on First Take. Stephen A. went head-to-head with Monica McNutt, and it got heated. Monica came at him hard, saying he was late to the party, that he should have been talking about women's basketball long before Caitlyn Clark hit the scene. The way they clashed, you could feel the tension through the screen. The debate went everywhere. Fans picked sides quick. Some said Stephen A. was giving women's basketball the spotlight it deserved. Others said he was just chasing clicks now that Caitlyn Clark was a household name. Either way, that argument turned into a moment, and it left the internet in flames. But that wasn't the first time Stephen A. locked horns with a WNBA icon? Back in late 2023, he clashed with Sue Bird over playoff ratings. Sue tried to put a positive spin on the league's numbers, saying more people were finally tuning in. Stephen A. straight up called her take disgusting. He wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything. He said the WNBA needed to stop acting like they were killing it in ratings when they weren't even close. That fight went viral fast, and what made it hit harder? Stephen A. didn't back down at all. He even snapped during that exchange, going full throttle on Sue's defense of the league. The WNBA ain't just stressed over online chatter. It's what's really going down inside the league that's got them panicking. Word is, some players are done staying quiet. Behind the scenes, there's serious talk that a few are ready to speak up about how the league handles things, especially when it comes to stars like Brittney Griner getting special treatment. From how suspensions are handed out to how certain players get shielded when the heat's on, folks are saying the league's playing favorites. And it's starting to show. Some fans are fed up too. They feel the league's more focused on saving face than actually protecting its players. One clip's even going viral where a fan straight up accuses the league of covering for Griner and doing everything they can to make sure nothing damaging ever hits the public. It's wild. And all of this couldn't be happening at a worse time. Sponsors have been throwing big money into the league lately, betting on growth, popularity, and a polished image. But instead of smooth progress, all they're seeing are headlines filled with drama, chaos on the court, and players acting out. From Griner's outbursts to fights breaking out during games, it's starting to look real messy, and investors are definitely paying attention. At this point, it's not even about just protecting Griner anymore, it's about the whole league trying to hold itself together. Cracks are showing everywhere. Stephen A. knows how this media game plays out too well. If he steps up and calls out Brittney Griner's gender directly, boom, he gets painted as the villain instantly. Doesn't matter if he's got receipts or facts. Brands would drop him, activist groups would be on him fast, and the entire conversation would flip. Suddenly, it's not about the league hiding things. It's Stephen A. attacks Brittney, just like that. But this ain't just about one rumor. The WNBA is already on edge. That's what makes Stephen A. holding this kind of bombshell so risky. Because the league isn't just battling speculation around Griner anymore. It's got real heat coming from the inside. At this year's All-Star Weekend, the tension wasn't even hidden. Players showed up unified, rocking bold shirts that read, "Pay us what you owe us." It turned into a full-blown protest on the court right in front of the cameras. The whole roster used their moment in the spotlight to tell the league straight up they're done being quiet. And the frustration runs deep. Union leaders like Breanna Stewart and Natasha Cloud didn't hold back. They slammed the league's latest offers, calling them flat-out disrespectful. Behind the scenes, insiders are warning that a lockout could be coming real soon, maybe even before the 2026 season. Players are tired, fed up, and finally speaking out about how they're treated. There's even a moment where Breanna explains how much pressure they're under and why so many can't stay quiet anymore. And that's exactly why some people think Stephen A. is waiting for the perfect moment to strike. If a scandal this massive hits the WNBA, it won't just wreck their image, it'll drag Disney, ESPN, and even the NBA down with it. Cause let's be real, if this stuff's true, then all these powerful names look like they've been covering things up from the jump. And Stephen A., he already knows how the game's played behind the scenes. He's even hinted at how his own network handles stories like this. Instead of speaking up when things start getting messy, they sit back with that wait-and-see attitude, watching, calculating, deciding how much heat they can handle. He hasn't spelled it out directly, but make no mistake, Stephen A. has definitely dropped hints. He said more than once that the real talk about the WNBA is coming, and it ain't gonna happen on first take. He's been teasing it on his podcast, letting people know that there's stuff the world just isn't ready to hear yet. Little lines here and there like "the truth always comes out," that's not random. That's a warning. And it's why the WNBA feels like it's hanging on by a thread. A player lockout could drop anytime. The money fights are getting nastier, sponsors are sitting on the fence, and Brittney Griner's name still in headlines for all the wrong reasons. So if Stephen A. finally pulls the trigger and spills everything he knows, the WNBA won't just be facing another PR message. They might not make it out at all. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more heat, because this saga is far from over. See you in the next one.